Okay, well, I will go ahead and get started. We're here at noon. So thank you all for joining us for the Explore Your Watershed SC Adopt-A-Stream and South Carolina Watershed Atlas webinar. My name is Emily Anderson. I'm a watershed project scientist with the Clemson Center for Watershed Excellence and Adopt-A-Stream or South Carolina Adopt-A-Stream coordinator on behalf of the center. So I just wanted to quickly welcome everyone and go over a little bit of housekeeping stuff, introduce the webinar today, and then I'll kick it over to our wonderful presenters with DHEC, who are going to walk us through some of the basics of using the Watershed Atlas and talk about some tools that can be really useful for existing or future South Carolina Adopt-A-Stream volunteers or general water quality advocates. So I'm glad that you all have joined us today, and I hope that everybody learned something useful. So let me see if I actually have control over my PowerPoint here. Okay, so just some quick housekeeping stuff. Your microphones are automatically muted, but I think that I do have the ability to unmute you at the end when we have discussion if you would like to speak. But you can ask questions anytime in the chat. The chat should be shown at the bottom of your screen if you're unfamiliar with Zoom. And Sierra has already put a little welcome message in there. So that should have a little like one red, a little red one that pops up to show you where it is. And I just want to say also, we recommend that you follow along on the Watershed Atlas on your browser, or you can just take notes on a notepad if that's, just to remember some of the stuff that they talk about today so that you can come back and use some of these tools. And so Sierra, would you mind putting a link to the Atlas in the chat if you haven't already? Oh, you probably just did. Okay. All right, so just real quick, many of you are probably Adopt-A-Stream volunteers, but if anyone is new to the program, just a quick intro. South Carolina Adopt-A-Stream is a statewide volunteer water quality monitoring program. It started in 2017 and is co-led by the Clemson Center for Watershed Excellence and South Carolina DHEC. And a primary objective is educating residents in waterway and ecosystem health and engaging individuals and groups and organizations, et cetera, in the collection of baseline non-regulatory data to add to the state's collection of water quality data for our many wonderful waterways. So if you are already involved in the program, or if you are not and you are just possibly interested, feel free to reach out to us anytime you have questions about anything. And again, welcome and thank you for being here. Okay, so our speakers, just real quickly, we're going to have Sierra Hilton and Amanda Lay, and they're both with South Carolina DHEC. Sierra is the South Carolina Adopt-A-Stream program coordinator. So basically, one of my counterparts over at DHEC. We're kind of primary contacts that you can reach out to if you ever have questions about the program. And then Amanda Lay wears many hats. And today she's going to be really taking the reins and walking us through the Watershed Atlas as Watershed Atlas coordinator over at South Carolina DHEC. So I will at this point go ahead and kick it over to you, Sierra, and let you give your introduction and see what we can learn about the Atlas. All right.
Thank you so much, Emily. I'm thrilled to have everyone joining us today on your lunch break. Definitely feel free to relax and just absorb this information. It is being recorded, so if this is something you want to take some time and rewatch and go through the steps individually, if multitasking is too hard on a single screen, if you're working remotely, just know that we will have this available to you at a later date. It'll probably be about a week or so. And then we can always, both Emily, Amanda, and myself, we're happy to take additional questions or do some one-on-one engagement with anyone that wants a deeper dive into anything Adopt-A-Stream or Watershed Atlas. So before we begin, it'll help to have a basic understanding of what a watershed is if you're not familiar with that term. In short, it's an area of land that drains to a central point. So this term represents a variety of different sizes of what watersheds can be. So to keep in mind, this could be as small as your backyard or as big as the Mississippi watershed, which stems all the way from Canada down to the Gulf of Mexico. So to keep this in mind, watersheds and knowing what's in your watershed is important because it has a direct effect on your water quality. Here to give us a demonstration of the Watershed Atlas tool is Amanda Lay. And just to give you a little more background on her, she's a coordinator for the South Carolina Watershed Atlas with DHEC. She's also the coordinator of the Champions of the Environment program and serves as the Broad and Edisto Watershed Manager. And we've been glad to have her at DHEC for 15 years now. So in just a moment, she'll demonstrate a brief drive-through of the Watershed Atlas, and then we'll cover two different scenarios of how the Watershed Atlas will be a beneficial tool with our South Carolina Adopt-A-Stream volunteers. So Amanda, take it away. And then if anyone has questions, we encourage you to type them as you have them. That way we can go back and make sure we show the right screen at the end. So Amanda, the floor is all yours.
Thanks, Sierra. As a quick disclaimer, I am recovering from a small bug and might cough or hack or whatever. I'm a little fuzzy headed in the head too, so bear with me, but hopefully we can get this going and answer questions and make sense. I do also want to plug the Champions of the Environment program real fast. Champions and Adopt-A-Stream frequently work together to provide information for schools, kindergarten through 12th grade schools, to get involved in Adopt-A-Stream water quality monitoring. So if I know that there are a few groups who are part of like Environmental Education Center or representing some kind of environmental education group. If you know of a school group or some small class or anybody who's in kindergarten through 12th grade that would be interested in participating in an Adopt-A-Stream program where they actually go through and get certified, or the teacher can get certified, but get certified and enter information into the catalog, then Champions of the Environment can help provide funding for the supplies that you would need in order to be able to do that. I encourage you to check out the Champions of the Environment website. It is an application process, but if you look at the website, you'll have a little bit more idea about when we start taking applications and how much you get and that kind of thing. So just wanted to plug that real fast because I think the two are very relevant. So I will share my screen and hopefully this will work. And let's see here. And we're gonna go here. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see this. All right. I'm not sure why that's sticking there. Okay. Sierra, give me a quick shout out if you can see it.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, so this is what you see when you come to the Atlas for the first time. What you're going to be getting is a splash screen that just kind of tells you real quickly about what's happening with the data layers and, all effort to be accurate and everything. We're going to be doing a little bit of tools sharing this morning. There are some things on this that I don't necessarily want to share yet. We can potentially share some additional advanced things in another webinar at another time, or I can share you some areas to go check out for more information. So just as a quick drive through, one of the things that I wanted to start pointing out to you, and like I said, this will be recorded. Hopefully you can come back. Hopefully I won't go too fast. But the first thing I want to point out to you is you can't do anything to screw this up. If you feel like you're adding things or putting things on here or, adding different drawing tools or something like that, this is only happening on your desktop. Whatever you do to this is not going to affect the actual system itself. So you're only working on your desktop. Whatever you do is only going to appear on the map that you're looking at. It's not going to affect the system. So some people have intimidation about that, and I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. So the first thing I want to point out is that you can hover over all these neat little tools that we've got, and it will tell you what the name of that tool is. So we've got a measurement tool, we've got some legend tool here. There's sometimes you might have an extra little box right here that says more screens, because mine is actually nice and large, and so I'm able to see all these tools in one screen. So you might have to go to an extra screen. But I just want to point out, if you're never sure what something is, you can hover over it and figure out what they are. Same goes for these over here. Zoom in, all these. Okay. One thing I want to point out to you is the most important thing probably of all is this about tool. and it will basically tell you everything I'm telling you today. It's not going to give you some of the more advanced stuff. We can again cover that later on. But if you think that you remembered something that I said and want to come back and check it out again later, you can just scroll down through here and it will give you some good basic information about what each of these tools does. Right, so the other thing I want to point out to you is called the default extent. If you know anything about GIS, extent is the view. I'm sorry, GIS is Geographic Information Systems. So that's what we're using to help build this map. And so it's happening in the background. Data gets added to it frequently. So we always have as much as possible the most up-to-date information. So when we're talking about GIS, that's where all this is coming from. So a word in GIS is called extent or view. And so if you wanted to go to your default extent or your default view, you would click this home screen. So just to show you, I can move around, but get zoomed in super close. If I get lost or I want to remember where I am, I will just click that default extent, which takes me back to home, and you see these major watersheds in the state of South Carolina. If you wanted to go back to where you were, similar to like if you're looking at Google or something like that, and you want to go back to where you just were, you can hit that previous extent button multiple times and it will take you back, multiple places to where you were. And again, kind of similarly forward to the extent that you were in. So again, it's kind of similar to just a regular browser tool where you're going forward or back at what you've looked at. Now, another thing I want to show you is something called My Location. And it's this little neat thing right here. If you are out in the field with a cell phone, this is going to work best, especially if you have your GPS enabled. So if you're using it on a desktop, if you're sitting at home, you're a new sampler or something, and you want to know where you're going to go to sample, or you kind of want to just figure out what's in the atlas or what different permits we have available, you would just click this button and it's going to tell you where you're located. Now it's using the web browser to detect your location. So just most of the extent, it's fairly accurate. So I'm sitting in that blue dot, and that is actually fairly accurate. Sometimes it might put you just a little bit off, but especially if you're in the field with a GPS enabled device, it will put you right exactly where that phone is. You can also turn this off by clicking that button again. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Just wanted to be sure that you can see that, because it's going to be helpful if you are looking at some of the things that are around you. So layers of interest, we're calling this the table of contents. And I'm going to turn on a couple of different things in the table of contents so you can see what's nearby. So we would have some TMDL sites, or we would maybe have some, let's see, water quality monitoring sites, perhaps. You might have to zoom out to see them. There you go. So you see, these are all, now every one of these layers has its own icon. So you see this one has an upside down triangle. If I turn this on, it's going to have like what looks like a little water faucet. So they all have their own icons to help you understand which is which. You can click on these layers to find out what the icons are. And I'm pointing to my screen like you can see what I'm doing. But you can click on that layer to see what the icon looks like, or you can come over to the legend and it will list for you all those different icons that go with each of those layers. This also can be helpful if you feel like you have too many things turned on, or you're not sure, you want to turn something off, but you're not sure, scrolling through all these layers, which one do I have turned on? So, oh yeah, I don't need this one right now, so I'll just turn that off. So there's multiple ways that you can use some of these tools. So that's your legend that will also help you figure out what those icons look like for each layer. Another thing I want to point out is that you can, based on these layers, you can see what is nearby relevant to your location. So if I'm sitting here, then obviously there is this fixed ambient monitoring site that's nearby. You see, I have multiple screens here. I can scroll through multiple screens. So this is telling me the major river basin. I also have that one turned on. So if I turn multiple of these layers on, then I'm going to get multiple features in this information window. So I have 3 major layers that I've turned on, so that when I click in this little area right here, it's going to tell me all 3 of those layers that I have turned on. So I would just need to scroll through each one of those windows to find out what each one of those layers is telling me. They all have their own set of information. So I'm just going to, sometimes you just got to go through here, and there's so much going on. You want to go back to that. You can also, sometimes I just get frustrated, and not frustrated, but just, I got to clear that all quickly. You know, I got to clear the whole thing out all quickly. So I just reset it. And that way I don't have to worry about it. So now we've got a nice clean slate, and I want to show you about zooming. This is going to be very helpful for you if you're trying to find multiple information about multiple features. So let's see, right here, I'm going to zoom in to this little area right here. And I want to point out to you a couple of different things here. This layer, the labeled streams, you have to zoom in to view it. And it's you're going to know when you're close in enough to see it when that turns bold. Okay. And it, you know, because it's technology, it doesn't always work exactly the way it's supposed to, but we are seeing that it is coming on. We're seeing that the layers have actually been labeled. So if we zoom back out again, hopefully it will appear that, there we go. See, it's unbold. Okay. So we're going back in again, we're heading back in. And what I wanted to show you is that sometimes you can find different things by being zoomed in. So we've got this stream layer turned on, and you've had to zoom in to see it. You can also zoom in to see this water classification. I'm not sure how much of that y'all would need. This is more about, it's talking more about outstanding resource waters and things like that. That might be something that's more of an advanced webinar for later on. But sometimes you're going to need to know where a particular stream is that you're wanting to sample. And I don't know if you're aware of this, there's multiple names of the same stream within the state. So what you can do is come over here and do stream search by name. Beaver Dam Creek is one that there's got to be a million of them. You've got Beaver Dam Creek in things like York County, Greenville County, Chesterfield County, all that. I'll get to that in a little bit more discussion later on. But one of the things that I wanted to show you this time is that this is a tool that you can use to find streams by name. So if I want to put in Beaver Dam Creek, you can leave that county name blank and you can search for it. And I just want to show you how there are multiple Beaver Dam Creeks within the state. If you know specifically what one you're looking for, say you're in Pickens County, or even let's pick York County. Now it's only going to show that one in York County. So you can see how if you have multiple variations of the same stream name, it will help to know what county you're looking in. But also if you don't know the county, you're just trying to search for everything, then it will appear. It's just it's going to help you to filter your results better if you know that county name. So again, we're going to just clear out of this. Okay. And of course, if you wanted to go back and turn that off, you would just clear this. Oops, excuse me. Okay. And you're cleared. So, okay. Now, I showed you about the different multiple features in those info boxes. The next thing I want to show you really quickly is the base map gallery, and then we'll move on to some scenarios The base map gallery is going to be helpful if it's something that you're trying to find something specific. This is nice. This is a topographic map. So if you're kind of trying to zoom in and find something, you can see the topography if you're really familiar with what topography looks like on a map. But also you can pull up maps that are related to just imagery. You also have these open street maps. That's really helpful if you're trying to locate to a specific area. It's got a little bit of that topographic map feature to it, but it also has the names of these streets, which you might not necessarily get. And it also has these houses appearing for you. Imagery is really helpful. You can see, if you can get pretty close in and see what that land looks like. For example, if you're trying to identify a site that you want to sample, maybe you can get in a little bit closer and see if it looks safe, if it looks like there's actual footpath access to a particular site, just to make sure that when you're going there, you kind of have an idea of what it's going to look like. So we will move on to just making sure that I have covered everything. Okay, and we'll move on to letting Sierra show some information. So Sierra, take it away.
Awesome. So now that Amanda has showed some basic tools of the Watershed Atlas, it's now to present a scenario for how to use the Watershed Atlas as a new volunteer with South Carolina AdaptoStream. As Emily mentioned, this program offers free workshops statewide to certify volunteers to collect data that can be used to improve, protect, and restore the waters we all care about. So all this data that our monitors collect, it can be viewed publicly through our website, which is just scadoptastream.org. And I can post that to the chat in just a second. But in general, this data mainly gets used for baseline screening and educational purposes. However, its potential for other uses is really limitless. So I just want to share my screen real quick and show a brief view of the database. That way, for volunteers that are either recently certified or want to get certified soon, have an idea of what to expect. All right, so sharing my screen now. Okay, can you see it, Emily?
We can see it.
Perfect. All right, so in order to get to our database, the easiest way is to go to our website, which again was the scadoptastream.org. And on the left-hand side of the website, we have a database tab. So by going to the website, you can also directly enter our database or explore all of our other valuable information about the program itself. Once you enter the database, it'll take you to a similar version of this. Certified volunteers will have some login information. Otherwise, this data can be used by absolutely anyone worldwide. If you have an internet access, you can view this data, which is very handy, like I said, for multiple applications. The main screen has a map of all of our adopted sites across the state. The blue dots are recently adopted, and then the red dots are some more of our historical sites, but it's all interactive. You can click individual sites and see how many sampling events, when it was last sampled, the name of the water body. Currently, our program offers a few different types of programs. So starting out 5 years ago, we started with freshwater wadable streams, and you can either get monitored to or certified to monitor chemical bacteria parameters or something called macroinvertebrates, which are aquatic insects, and they help determine the water, or they can give us a water quality score so we know our stream's health. Or new as of last summer, we have tidal saltwater monitoring. So that's where you see all these brand new sites along the coast, which are really exciting. Now to take a deeper dive into an individual site profile, I already loaded it because sometimes the pictures can be a little bit slow, but you would just click into a site and it would take you to this screen. So this gives you more details like latitude, longitude, a description of the site, an actual map of where the site is, beautiful photos so we can see changes over time, and then you get to the good stuff, the data. We have some interactive data graphs where you can toggle on and off to see the sampling events over time. So you have dates along the bottom. Here you can see temperature on the green line, and you do see that trend of warmer waters in the summers, cooler waters in the winters, and everything in between. And then what's really nice about our program is, in general, we hope you never find anything. We hope there's never a pollution event, but because you're out there monitoring, and in most cases monitoring a site that doesn't get monitored at the state level, you're our first alert to when things do happen unexpectedly or there's a pollution event. Your data really can contribute to help us learn more about that stream and take action if needed. So all this data, whether you're a certified volunteer or not, you can just copy and paste into a spreadsheet and can use it for whatever purpose you deem necessary. Or if you work for a utility or local government, we can also pull the data on the watershed or county-based level and just send it to you, whether you want it yearly or over a certain period of time. And it's all very valuable and impactful. So one last thing I want to share with you here. If you click on an individual site and then click to an individual event, you can actually look at observations, if it rained recently, and see the actual details. But all of this is kind of getting ahead of myself, because let's go back to the scenario of you're a new volunteer and you need to add a site. So simply after you attend a workshop, we'll give you the login information, and all you have to do is this add site feature. You'll need to know your water body name, which Amanda will soon show you in the Atlas. The water body type, like I mentioned, we have freshwater and saltwater programs right now, and soon to have lake monitoring as well. And then you'll have to know your watershed. This one's tricky because some people think they know what watershed they're in, but sometimes they're in the one next to, they live in one watershed, but the stream they sample in is at the watershed next to them. So Amanda will also cover that, and then how to find your latitude and longitude if you're having trouble with the map. There is a, the reason this map looks a little goofy is because I don't have my location turned on my laptop here. And all it's doing is it's so zoomed in that you're looking at the ocean. So here you just have to go, oops, not to that side of the US. Go to South Carolina, and then when you drag this pin around, it'll pull up your latitude and longitude. But you can also use the Watershed Atlas to find that information. So I'm going to go back over to Amanda here and let her demonstrate that.
All right, thank you. So I'll share my screen again. Oops. Are we ready to just, okay, cool. Yes, okay. One other thing that I want to show you regarding the streams is something that's going to help you hopefully a lot. I've just zoomed in to a part of the state. I just picked a spot. We're obviously in Ridge Spring over here. Sometimes if you want to know what stream you're on, but there's some crazy names like Bob Stream, or something like that, because they're more of a tributary or a headwater or something like that. So you might not have a whole lot of information about the actual stream itself. So in this case, I am going to be turning on, I'm going to zoom in and see, we're looking at Peters Creek now here. You notice that the topography, again, if you know how to read a topographic map, and I do, but sometimes it throws me for a little whirl. It looks like this is maybe a little reach right here, got a reach right here. But if you turn on these label stream layer, then it's going to show you a little bit more detail. So even though you're not necessarily seeing, if you were to look at the topographic map and you would see, well, that's kind of a little reach right there. And then here's some extra little headwaters right here. You might not necessarily see that if you didn't turn it on. So you can see that. You know that there's a little pond right there, but some of those extra little details you might not get. So like this, for example. So having that turned on, if you're zoomed in real closely, when you're trying to find a stream to sample, might actually be helpful to you. Another thing I want to show you, so I'm just going to turn this off and I'm going to go back to my default extent. And the neat thing about this is that you can find things just based on your address or place. So I'm going to type in DHEC's address, and as you're typing, you see it can actually start filling this in for you. Bull Street, let's see, Columbia, South Carolina. And so you can choose from a list here once you start having that typing come up, and it will zoom to your location. So for being on a browser search, that's actually exactly correct. So that's pretty neat. So you can drop a marker here. And if you click on the marker again, it will give you your latitude, longitude. It'll give you a little bit more information. If you decide you want to take that marker off, you can always remove that marker. And the actual black dot will disappear once you exit out of that address field. So if you had an address and you wanted to keep it there, you would want to add that marker, because once you exit out of that field, it's going to remove that little black dot. So that's one way to find an address. Also, I want to point out to you the way that you could do it with latitude, longitude. I actually learned something myself this morning, which is really kind of cool. Watch this little area of my screen, okay, where it says degrees, both in latitude and longitude. If I'm coming over here and clicking on, this little area, it's going to tell me some information, but you see that latitude, longitude is still moving. It's not staying put. If I click on this little thing right next to the map, I'm going to get the coordinates. So I'm making that something active now. And what I can do is I can come over here and click on this building, and this is the DHEC building. It's going to give me that coordinate right here, and it doesn't move when I move my mouse. So I know that that's exactly the right coordinate. I might decide that's not where I want to sample after all. I want to sample over here. And so you can move that marker. It's going to give you a new set of coordinates. And when you're done, you've decided this is where I'm going to be. You can escape that field. You can disable it, and it will stop putting that marker on there for you. So that's what I learned this morning. How long have I been working with this atlas? And sometimes you just learn new tricks or shortcuts that are really fun. Okay, so we've got our how to find those stream names. We've learned how to find the address, the other and the latitude, longitude. As Sierra pointed out, you're going to probably be working with watershed boundaries. Something neat about this. This is a really cool way of showing you a little bit more specific what she means about how you can have really, really big watersheds or really, really small watersheds. So we have 8 major watersheds, 8 major river basins in South Carolina. And so they're all listed here. Then you start drilling down, and I like to use the comparison to those Russian dolls that are nested inside of each other. You take the big Russian doll apart, and then there's another smaller one in there. You take it apart, there's a smaller one, and so you keep drilling down to those smaller dolls that are nested within each other. And so that's what's happening here. So I'm going to take Broad, because that's one of my watersheds, and you'll see that once we turn on the 8-digit HUC, we have several of these 8-digit HUCs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8-digit HUCs within the Broad, and I'll pick this one right here. So within an 8-digit HUC, you have multiple 10-digit HUCs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's harder to count. But then within those, I'm going to pick this 10-digit HUC right here. We have even more 12-digit HUCs, and it gets harder to see, the more you turn on. So that's why you kind of want to be able to zoom in and have an idea of where you're located already. But if we'll turn this off and this off, that might help a little bit. So within your 10-digit HUC, which is this darker line, you have multiple 12-digit HUCs. So again, just to point out to you, you've got the green and the black so that you know what you're looking at. So again, if you wanted to turn all these on one more time, and we'll click on this one 12-digit HUC here, then you can see we've got that one, which is nested inside that one, which is nested inside that one. And you can just look at all those different information boxes and see the different watersheds that you're drilling down into. So making sure that you know what watershed you're sitting in that you want to sample that stream in. Okay, I believe that's all I have to share for the new monitoring. The only other thing to show you is that we've got water quality monitoring and assessments here. So if you wanted to know where you might be sampling in relation to where DHEC might be sampling, then we've got these different types of monitoring sites. We've got fixed, historic, random. Also, if you are really into it, you can learn a little bit more about which waters we consider to be impaired based on our list. And if you want, we can chat later about what approved TMDL sites are and how they're related to impaired waters. So these are just some things that you can look at, these layers that you can look at to learn a little bit more about what's nearby that you might want to keep in mind. So turn it back over to Sierra to talk about some success stories with data, and I'll be back in a moment.
Thank you. So now that we've discussed how the Watershed Atlas can be used for new monitors, let's also discuss how it can be used by existing volunteers. After you've chosen a site, you may be able to see trends over time, like in that example I gave when I shared my screen. This example, or with this, similar to this example, you may be experiencing a pollution event. So when this happens, it helps to have an idea of potential sources of where this pollution is coming from, or if anything in your watershed has changed recently. Examples can be increased bacteria levels from a recent rainstorm, or sediment noted in your habitat survey after land near the stream has been cleared. The Watershed Atlas can be used to reference 90 different layers of data and permits associated with DHEC. So although Amanda's pointed out some very helpful ones, I highly encourage you to use that link in the chat to explore some on your own. And now Amanda will give an example of a screening tool that can be used to see what's going on around your selected site and in its watershed as a whole. And this will be our last scenario before we wrap up and take some questions.
Right. So this is one of my most favorite tools. We're starting to get into a little bit more of the advanced tools. So hopefully this will give you a taste and whet your interests so that you can join us again for some more advanced tools. The more advanced you get, the more fun you start having. I mean, this is great fun to me, but you start learning more about your watershed and what's in it and how to use these tools really, really well. So what I'm going to do is turn on the DHEC screening tool. And again, you can hover over to find out which one it is. It's this one that I'm going to be looking at. So the DHEC screening tool, there's a couple of different ways that you can screen for. You can search for your address, like I did with putting in the 2600 Bull Street. So you can search by address. You can search by coordinates. The neat thing with this is you don't even have to have an address. You can just pick some coordinates. I'm going to stick. So what you would do is you click this button and you would maybe just click on some point that you wanted to sample. And let's see, I always like to sample over a bridge or something, right? So right here, okay, gives you the coordinates. And then I just left this blank, but you would want to tell it how many miles within this area that you want to search. So I'm going to put in 3 miles. And it's going to pull a report for you. It's going to show you everything that's within 3 mile circumference of this latitude, longitude. So you can see this is our 3 mile circumference. Within that, we've got 6 general permits. And I can show you something neat here too. As you click on these, it's going to highlight that in the map, so you know which one you're looking at. And without that layer even being on, it will show you where it is on your map. Now you can turn that layer on over here on the table of contents and then click on it to kind of learn a little bit more about it, but this is an even cooler way to do it. I want to pick one that has a little bit more in it. Let's see. Well, we'll just stick with general permits here. You can decide which field that you want to see. Maybe you're only interested, like you don't know what a SIC code is. So you're going to take that off. You don't know a SIC description, so you can take that off. We might want to know the rest of these though, so you would keep that, and then it's going to only show the different features that you asked for it to show. Now, just before I show you about a couple of other tools on this, I want to show you about the, let's see, we'll start over. Draw. This is really cool. Again, you can have that point. You can select a point. You can use a polygon. This is neat if you know a particular drainage area that you're wanting to look at. You can do a rectangle. One kind of neat thing that I've been experimenting with that you might actually find interesting as well. Whoopsies. nose, is this one, which is you're just going to be drawing a polyline. And this is mostly used when you're working with streams or rivers. And so you would want to be able to follow one of these blue lines indicating a stream or river. So I'm going to click to start drawing. And you're just going to follow it along with your cursor as close as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just following it along as far as you want to go. Okay, and I've selected that. I'm going to make it 3 miles. Let's have some fun with it and do 5 miles. See, so just looking at this stream within a 5 mile radius of this stream, 5 mile circumference, and there's our circumference. You can see we've got 9 general permits. I mean, if you're interested in permits, but there's also, if you were in an area that had sampling, it would pull that up as well. Surface water withdrawals, so there are none of those. Nationwide permits, again, you can click on it and it will show you where in the range that you're searching for that appears. This would probably be more helpful if you're looking for something like, land application, farmers, something like that, that you're looking for a specific source of something, perhaps septics or something like that. And then one other thing that I want to show you is a shapefile. This is a little bit more advanced. If those of you who are a little bit more familiar with GIS, Geographic Information Systems, and you have something that has a zipped shapefile, and that's just going to show all the different data and points of a particular piece of information, you can upload that and put that in here, and it will run a report for that as well. But coming back over to, let's see, the draw, we had done this report, and I want to show you that you can download that the whole entire report into a CSV file. Of course, if you did that, you would want to open it with that Excel, and you want to save it as a Excel file instead of CSV because it'll be easier to work with. You can print it. You can put it in different formats, whichever is easiest for you. Landscape, portrait, obviously landscape will probably be better. And then you can, based on the area that you're looking at, acres or miles, whatever, you can kind of filter this to fit what you're looking for. So there are 1 or 2 other tools that, again, are a little bit more advanced than that. You notice when I turn that off, the entire thing disappears. So make sure you get the information that you want before you remove it. If you're interested in learning a little bit more advanced about some types of screening, join us for another webinar coming up, and Sierra will have some details on that for you. But that will, hopefully this just whets your appetite and makes you interested in learning more about it, and we can provide some additional information about upcoming about tools in an upcoming webinar.
All right, well, thank you for sharing all of that, Amanda. Hopefully that was just enough to pique your interest and introduce you to the Atlas if it's brand new, but also give you some Easter eggs to go find if you have used the application before and want to take your skills to the next level. We do know we're going to offer another one in June. We have everyone's email addresses. We'll make sure to send you a personal invite to the advanced version, where you can take these printing and mapping skills to the next level and importing other data and several other helpful tips and tricks. But for now, we want to make sure you don't have questions about what we talked about today, or any questions about the Adaptive Stream program in general. So please put your questions in the chat, or I'll let Emily address if we can unmute or not. But thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Emily, for hosting. And I'm thrilled. I recognize several names in the chat box, so I'm very excited that you all were able to join us.
Yeah, I am not quite seeing how to unmute people. So questions in the chat would be the best option, I think.
Okay, and if anyone's unfamiliar with this platform, if you move your mouse towards the bottom of the screen, your button should magically appear, and there's just a button called chat. and that should open up the box where you can type your questions. I see some messages. You're all welcome. And Ingrid, but yes, there's a lot of information in the Watershed Atlas tool. And we're always happy to meet with people individually if you have specific questions you're wanting to explore, or if you just want to catch up and tell us all about what you like about AdaptoStream. It's always great to hear that too.
Yeah, thank you, Sierra and Amanda. I definitely learned some things today. I had no idea about that screening tool.
Like I said, I've been working with it for years, and I keep learning these neat shortcuts.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, and
Somebody said rabbit holes, and that's true.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, speaking, Kit mentioned that she needs to get certified. I am also posting some upcoming workshop events, the virtual version of our handbook if you're curious about what you can monitor, and then also posting the link to the Atlas again.
And
Thank you.
I think that we're gonna, Emily and Sierra said they're going to have some examples of places to post it for the recording. And she actually listed the Watershed Atlas link on the chat. So we'll also have a recording of this on the Watershed Atlas link. Someone was saying, what are the descriptions and what does navigable water permits mean? So the descriptions are, let me go back to sharing my screen if that's okay.
Yeah, here, I'll stop sharing. I just was contact info in the interim.
So if you're talking about descriptions in terms of program descriptions, or you're talking about the info box pop-up, I'm going to turn a couple of those on and just show you again. Let's see, and you had also asked, what was the other part of that question?
Question was, what does navigable water permits mean, and where do you find the descriptions?
Okay, so navigable water permit is something that is, and Sierra, if you don't mind tapping that web page into the chat so people can go look for it. You have to apply for these different permits if you're going to put a dock in a stream, or sometimes people use water from streams to help water their plants or their crops. There's different things that you need a navigable waters permit for. I don't think it would affect any of y'all. Usually it's a large structure that can, by nature of the name, impede navigation. So you have to go through a, believe it's DHEC and to some extent the Army Corps of Engineers to apply for that permit. So hopefully it's not something that y'all have to worry about. The descriptions, when you click on the watershed or the icon itself, so the icon itself will have information about the monitoring station, but if you're interested in the program that's doing that, you can also click on this and it will take you to a little bit more explanation about what monitoring stations are, and then you can go to a link which would take you to even more information. Of course, if you do that, then you have to make sure you're going to come back to the Atlas. So again, this is the information box that has the descriptions. So all I did was just click on, in this case, the 12-digit watersheds. You can also click on the icon itself. I'll pull up another icon so you can see. See water quality assessment. Hopefully this isn't, sorry, the coughing is going to start again. This is another example. This is another station that is providing some description. You can click on that as well. And so basically you're getting the descriptions about the information by clicking on the icon or within that layer itself. I'm sorry, my voice is going away.
Right.
Thanks for including that navigable waters link, Sierra.
All right, any other questions? Give you a moment to type in the chat. They can be general questions too.
There you go.
It's showing now. Did I do it right that time?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
There is actually also, let me see if I can find it. There's also you're welcome to contact me at my email address, but there's also a Watershed's email address. So if you are to have questions about the page itself, then you can email this address and it will take you straight. I'll still get the email, but I just want to make sure that you have a copy of this email address. Let's see if we can make this work. Let's see.
Great.
Okay. So if you're looking at the atlas and you have questions about it itself, so I've just put the email for it in the chat. Like I said, I will still get that email. It's still coming to me. So if you want to email me with this Leah@DHEC email, you can do that, or you can email me at this atlas.gov email address. But depending on if you go to the atlas.gov email address, typically that can also be for people who might have user suggestions or user ideas or options or other specific, more specific questions. So I'm happy to have you reach me either way.
Great, thank you. All right, well, if we don't have any additional questions, I guess we are finishing up early today. Yeah, that was great. Thank you again, Amanda and Sierra, and thanks everybody for joining us.
Thanks, thanks everybody.
Yeah, and this will, like they said, Sierra, or I think like Sierra said, this will be recorded, and we will send an email out to everyone who's registered with that recording, and you can share it with anyone and watch it again if you missed anything. And yeah, it'll also be up on our YouTube and website. And they will be in touch about a follow-up with the more advanced stuff.
Yeah, it gets more and more fun. Well, thanks very much for having us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. All right, hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Stay dry. Hopefully it's not raining too much.